Welcome to All Systems Go, real estate training for the real world. Here is your host, Debbie Hamlin.
Today's episode is Negotiating P's and Q's. Along with the techniques and real estate systems I developed, the other skill that helped me become number one in Canada was my ability to negotiate. Negotiating on behalf of a client, after all, is the most important skill we bring to the table in a real estate transaction. Anyone with minimal training can fill out forms. Although the error-filled paperwork we sometimes receive from other agents can make us wonder if that's true. Anyone can stick a sign on a lawn, and whether or not it's perfectly straight won't impact the price. Anyone with basic software can do an ad for a house and send it off. And pretty much anyone can walk people through a house and point out where the great things are. Negotiating is where we earn our money. That is the skill our clients are paying us for. So that should be our greatest strength. Now, read any book on negotiating, and I highly recommend you read as many as you can find. Or talk to anyone with experience in that field, and the first thing that comes across is the importance of always negotiating from a position of power. It's the old never let them see you sweat mantra, transferred to a real estate transaction. Always negotiate from a position of power. It's one of those statements that sounds bulletproof, but exactly what does it mean? And more importantly, how do you get to that position of power to start with? To answer that, all we have to do is flip the old adage, knowledge is power, to power is knowledge. And the more knowledge you have, the more powerful your position will be. It really is that simple. Whenever I listed a house, I immediately did research on it and the area it was in. Before I talked to anyone, I found out what the market trends were in the particular area, if anything was looming on the horizon that would impact the home's value, and other details I could dig up. This is all part of my post-listing system, so I wasn't reinventing the wheel each time. If you take the short time to do your research, you will uncover what I like to call negotiating nuggets. What's the population movement in the area? Are older people moving in or young families? Is there any development, commercial or otherwise, planned for the near future? Find out anything and everything you can, and you will enter into negotiations well armed and ready to counter any argument that might arise. You'll also impress your clients and put them in a position of getting the most money for their property. If you do that, you've done your job as a real estate agent. After power, the second P of successful negotiating is pause. What that means is simply this. When you begin negotiating, sit back and pause. Let the other person talk. The more they talk, the more information you'll get. And the more information you have, the more of a power position you'll establish. So ask questions and say very little in the first round of negotiations, and you'll come back even stronger in the second. Another P of successful negotiating is professional. Always remember that you are a professional and conduct yourself accordingly. That's sometimes not as easy as it sounds because obviously there are personalities involved. You'll often be dealing with people from the industry that you know, and some agents will take things way too personally. You don't want to be one of them. Negotiating is not a battle of wills between two people. It's a conducting of a business transaction between two parties. But the remainder is another story for another podcast. For now, keep these 3 simple and effective techniques in mind, and you'll do just fine in negotiating as long as you watch your P's and Q's. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to get future podcasts. Talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Debbie Hanlon's All Systems Go, recorded in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, produced by Jerry Stamp.